Okay, good evening, everyone. Yesterday we have discussed Mosarkar 5T, Parvatmala, second ARC, RTI, neutrality and anonymity, All India Service Conduct Rule, corruption in administration. I think we have discussed till here corruption in administration. Every civil servant need to maintain All India Service Conduct Rule, Central Service Conduct Rule, Railway Service Conduct Rule, Odisha Civil Service Conduct Rule, and this is being focused by the recently 2014 All India Service Conduct Rule amendment. There was amendment, and it focused on neutrality, transparency, honesty, accountability. And any question, if it come to your mind, you can ask me related to corruption. Corruption. Yes, if you are getting that corruption is one of the most important problem in administration. Administration re corruption. So if they ask you a question, do you think corruption is prevalent in administration? Don't deny it. Say yes, sir. Corruption is prevalent. After so many strong steps taken by government, so many agency, CBI, Central Vigilance Commission, State Vigilance Commission, ED, still we found corruption. But it has decreased recently. The cases of corruption are decreased, but it is prevalent. Zero tolerance towards corruption. Both central government, state government, Odisha government's approach, zero tolerance towards corruption, and the corrupt employee given compulsory retirement, they are removed from their service. Okay, and if you are getting a situational question that you are forced to take bribe, a situation where there is chance that you will be suspended or you will transferred to a very remote place if you are not part of this corruption. So always say no, sir. I will always abide by the rule. I will abide by the service conduct, and whatever the consequences, I will not. Uh, I will not. Okay. Yes, Manas. Any question? Manas, do you want to say something? Okay, wrongly. Yes. So always say corruption is prevalent and the reason of corruption. So what are the reason of corruption in Indian administration? As we discussed, the reason of corruption is secrecy, less accountability, and the concept of Sanskritization of corruption. In India, we face the problem Sanskritization of corruption. That means the society never protest against corruption. Everyone is used to corruption. That is the main reason of corruption. There is no social boycott. And be it the bribe taker or bribe giver, everyone take it easy. So this is the main reason. Corruption. Practically, you will get many situational question on corruption, and you will try to tackle it. So you will get situational question. Okay, PRI, yes, you might get question on PRI because you are part of this. Jilla Parishad, Panchayat Samiti, Gram Panchayat, Gram Sabha. So you are part of Panchayat Samiti. As a BDO, you are part of Panchayat Samiti. Getting it? You are the principal advisor. You are advisor to the chairman of Panchayat Samiti. your advisor. So you need to work according to his guidance. You advise the block chairman. Getting it? And yes. So as a video you will manage. So you are a connecting link between Jilla Parishad and Gram Panchayat. As a video you are connecting link between Jilla Parishad and Gram Panchayat, and you are heading 17-18 department in block. You are a coordinator, and every meeting, Panchayat Samiti meeting, uh, uh, like cabinet secretary manage the meeting, you manage. You are like a cabinet secretary in Panchayat Samiti. Provide all information related to the meeting. Make note of the meeting, and send the message to concerned department the outcome of meeting. And you are coordinator. And as a BDO, you are part of development administration. Development administration. And a Tahsildar, you are part of revenue administration. As a Tahsildar, you are part of revenue administration. As a BDO, you are part of development development administration. So you are main actor in the process of development. You spend money and Tahsildar earn money, revenue. And Tahsildar is known as executive magistrate. So executive, Karjo Nirvahi Dandadhikari, executive magistrate. So it is not like that we can say Tahsildar is superior or BDO is subordinate. No, both are equivalent, but Tahsildar has executive magistrate. He is executive magistrate, but as a BDO you are not executive magistrate. But you have certain power, enforcement power also. As a BDO, you have enforcement power. And Panchayat Samiti, Gram Sabha, the smallest unit of governance. Gram Sabha is the smallest unit of governance. Gram Panchayat, Gram Sabha, and you make recently there is a Jilla Parishad, Panchayat Samiti, and Gram Panchayat award. It is in the front page. Do you know in which district the Jilla Parishad award, Panchayat Samiti get award, Gram Panchayat get award? Recently, Ganjam, Panchayat Samiti award is given. Yes, so Ganjam. Uh, this is Panchayati Raj Institute. Role of civil service. So what do you want to be a civil service? It gives me wider authority to bring positive change in the society, change the life of citizen. And role of civil service in syllabus also we have discussed the civil service. The scope of public administration is very wide, and civil service play a very wider role, be it in the part of policy formulation, secretariat or staff, be it part of policy implementation, uh, uh, be it part of law making, policy evaluation, policy formulation, implementation, evaluation, law making, and implementation of law, role in disaster management, maintenance of law and order, civil servant as a facilitator, civil servant as a regulator, facilitator, regulator, and this after post LPG. The concept of small state but strong state, minimum government, maximum governance, and also it is provider of essential service, advisor to political executive. This is what civil service play. And when we discuss development administration, it is the development of administration and administration of development. Okay, development of administration. So mission, karmayogi, training, these are development of administration. And as a DM, as a BDO, what do? You administer development process. You administer development process. Another thing, as a OAS, you are part of, remember this, you are part of development administration. But as a OFS, anyone who have OFS first preference, if you will get a question that why you choose OFS as your first preference, you can say, sir, I want to be part of non-development administration. Then your next question, they will ask a next question from here. Okay, what is non-development administration? What is development administration? What is the relation between the two? So anyone who have OFS first preference, you can say, sir, I want to be I want to part of non-development administration, because non-development administration contribute the essence, contribute the finance. Development administration spending, non-development administration law and order maintenance ହେଇଗଲା, army ହେଇଗଲା, tax collection. So tax collection, this is part of non-development administration. If tax collection is poor, it impacts development administration. So they will be satisfied when you say, sir, I want to be part of non-development administration. I want to contribute to the growth of non-development administration. And the growth of non-development administration only support the growth of development administration. Otherwise, development administration cannot prosper. This is what you can write. Role of civil service, I think whatever we discuss, anything, namaskar. And administrative adjudication, this is also tribunal, this is also part of development administration. Policy formulation, implementation, policy evaluation, law making through delegated legislation, disaster management. And when we come disaster management, they will stop you. देखो आउ थोड़े कही दूची, policy formulation, secretariat or staff, policy implementation, line and directorate. Anyone have any doubt, please ask, because I asked today I have taken a mock of a public administration student, and I asked him that you are working in Odisha Secretariat, you are part of line or staff, and he says, sir, I am part of line. So this is not, means they will not tolerate this. So if you don't know what is line and staff, what is secretariat directorate, in public administration optional. So when you say policy formulation, they might get how? Policy implementation how? So as a OS, you are part of what? Policy formulation or implementation? You say, sir, both. If I appointed in directorate, I will implement. If I appointed as secretariat, I will formulate. Law making, delegated legislation. Implementation of law, yes, civil service implement law in the field. Policy evaluation, audit, internal audit, CAG. Disaster management, yes. NDMA, SDMA, DDMA. We have National Disaster Management Authority at national level. The Prime Minister is head. We have State Disaster Management Authority at state level. Line and staff, huh? Okay. ଯାହା ପଢିଥିଲ ବୋଲି କହିପାରିଥିବ. Yes. Yes. So NDMA, central level, the Prime Minister is head. SDMA, state level, CM is head. DDMA, district level, DM is head. Technically below district level, absence of disaster management, but Odisha has recently included disaster management at block level and panchayat level. So involvement of Panchayati Raj Institute, the all three tier of government in disaster management. So you can ask her how disaster management civil service, you can ask her NDMA, SDMA, DDMA. This is the structure of disaster management. Maintenance of law and order, police, maintenance of law and order. As a facilitator, how civil servant as a facilitator, how civil servant as a regulator. And how it is a provider of essential good and service, advisor to political executive, be it Prime Minister office, be it Cabinet Secretariat, be it State Secretariat, and Administrative Adjudication Tribunal. So this is what role of civil service. You may get counter question. If you give answer, another question follow. This is a important question related to civil service. Delhi versus center. Actually, Delhi is Lieutenant Governor. He is representative of center and related to controlling of civil servant. Controlling of civil servant. You might get this question because this is related to civil service as a public administration optional student. So, do you aware about the problem in Delhi? Delhi versus centers. Okay, yes, sir. And role of LG. Who will control the civil service of Delhi? This was a tussle between center and state, and center come out with an ordinance, and that ordinance is challenged in Supreme Court. Supreme Court using its power of judicial review, power of judicial review, declare it null and void. Supreme Court said the permanent executive or civil servant, they should be responsible, accountable to the elected representative. Otherwise, collective responsibility is not possible, and Delhi win. So what we found? The civil service is responsible, accountable to the political executive. This is Delhi versus center case, and it is win of Delhi government. And judicial review, I think you all know about what is judicial review. It is a power of Supreme Court. Maybe tome under judicial review. Wait. What is judicial review? So judicial review, the power of Supreme Court and High Court to declare any law null and void if that particular law is against the ethos of Constitution, if that particular law violates the basic structure of Indian Constitution, if that particular law is ultra void. And the concept of judicial review source is USA due process of law, where law will means flexibility of law, or Supreme Court has a final call, and PN Bhagwati. So Delhi versus center, everyone know. Recent another issue I am telling you, Tamil Nadu. I hope everyone knew this. Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, listen. Today I asked 2-3 people that Chief Justice of Odisha High Court is appointed by whom? Do you know answer is what? Governor. I was really surprised. Getting me? That someone is appearing in so top exam, Odisha Civil Service, prelim, mains, interview. Someone is appearing in interview where I just very simple question asked that who give appointment to the Chief Justice of Odisha, and people say governor. ହେଲା ତ ବେସିକ୍ ଜିନିଷ and ଏସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଭୁଲ ହେଲେ they will not tolerate interview board ପଚାରିବେ ନାହିଁ ଯଦି ପଚାରିଦେଲେ ତ it will be issue. So ତାମିଲନାଡୁରେ କ'ଣ ହେଇଛି ତାମିଲନାଡୁରେ recently the governor dismiss a minister without recommendation of the CM. But what mentioned in the constitution? The governor dismiss a minister only after the recommendation of the chief minister. That was the issue. So if that board asks you that what is the rule, you say, sir, the governor can remove only on the recommendation of CM. After that, they might ask you that do you think it is unconstitutional? It is not in the power, sir. According to the constitution, according to the constitution, it is not. The Tamil Nadu Governors Act is not according to the constitution. So Tamil Nadu issue এটা ଗୋଟେ ହେଇଗଲା and ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଯଦି issue ହେଲାଣି so federalism ବାବଦରେ federalism center state relation centralized federalism independence to 70 bargaining federalism cooperative federalism competitive federalism. These are Niti promote cooperative and competitive, centralized, erstwhile planning commission, and presently this is what we found. Two more type of, one is combative federalism, coercive federalism. Combative federalism and coercive federalism. It is in newspaper. So combative means both center and state in a combat mode, and the office of governor is the battle zone. Through the office of governor, center and state always in a collision course. Be it is Kolkata, be it is Tamil Nadu, be it Maharashtra, the earlier Maharashtra. When there is a party who is ruling that is not similar to the party who is in center, always there is a conflict. So combative coercive. So center-state relation maybe because recently indirectly they will ask that as there is so many conflict we found between center and state, you might get question. Burning issue. Yes, citizen participation in governance. They will ask you that okay, as a bureaucrat, what will you ensure? So you will say, I will, sir, do this and I ensure citizen participation in governance. Or they will ask you that recently the participation of citizen in governance has increased. What is your opinion? You say, yes, sir. And the citizens' participation in governance has started from good governance paradigm. Good governance paradigm. After that, PRI. After that, citizen charter. After that, IT. RTI, Niti, Digital India, Mo Sarkar and 5T. Many people ask question of 5T, they say tourism. The 6T is tourism. Okay, that is also mistake. Every, not public administration optional, every optional should know what is tourism. Plus 60. So good governance paradigm, Panchayati Raj, Citizen Charter, IT, RTI, Niti Aayog, and Digital India, Mo Sarkar and 5T. Interpretation of Mo Sarkar 5T yesterday we have discussed. So citizens participation, yesterday we have discussed citizens participation in governance or citizens participation in policy formulation, that is অভিমত বাক্স, suggestion box, mygov.org, and this tool will facilitate citizens participation in administration, because now the secretary or minister, they interact with citizen, they want to know their idea. So they will not ask you simply what is Mo Sarkar. Mo Sarkar means everyone feel that this is my government, I am part of this government. No one is excluded from the purview of government. Everyone is included in the purview of government. Mo Sarkar. An implication of 5T and 6T. So more transparency, implementation of technology, time limit, finish every work in time, and it being transformation in the society, and 60 facilitate citizens participation in administration. And as a BDO, as a civil servant, you also ensure citizens participation in administration. Suppose they will ask you a question, okay, tell me, you are a BDO, tell me a particular mechanism where you ensure citizens participation in governance. You can say in social audit. Social audit is a mechanism where the accountability of administration is also there, and it also facilitates citizens participation in administration, but the participation should be real and not pseudo participation. It should be real participation of citizen. So as a BDO, you conduct social audit, and after conducting social audit you ensure or you facilitate citizens participation in administration. And grievance day. On grievance day, you listen grievance of citizen, and also listening their grievance, you ensure their participation in administration. Yes. Your grievance as a civil servant, your grievance. You also have a grievance, and the civil servant, you also has a pressure group, that is OAS association. OAS association is a, we can call civil society, not civil society, it is an interest group. OAS association is an interest group, and when OAS association pressure government that increase our salary, give our rapid promotion, they become a pressure group. So civil servant grievance, your grievance is redressed by in central level we have JCM, State Administrative Tribunal, ग्रीभेन्स एते पचारिबे नाही मते लागुनी कि सिटीजन्स ग्रीभेन्स पचारिबे हाँ ट्रेनिंग बाबद रे पचारि पारंती रिसेंटली ट्रेनिंग ट्रेनिंग रे मिशन कर्मयोगी पर्वतमाला and domain expertise so mission कर्मयोगी capacity building पर्वतमाला domain expertise second year से कहिछि after a fixed year of service every civil servant should choose a domain and they will they continue to work in that domain only for the rest of their life. है ना so domain expertise second ARC ओडिशार एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रिफॉर्म अंडर मो सरकार एंड 5टी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रिफॉर्म हेछि जदि कहिबे कि एनी स्टेप ओडिशा गवर्नमेंट हैज टेकन टू रिफॉर्म एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ओडिशा गवर्नमेंट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को रिफॉर्म करिया पय जदि किछि नेइछि तो अगेन दिस इज मो सरकार एंड 5टी प्लस 60 दिस इज गवर्नमेंट ऑफ ओडिशास इनिशिएटिव टू रिफॉर्म एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन हाँ under mission कर्मयोगी behavioral training also there. Disaster management we have discussed thoroughly how from NDMA, SDMA, DDMA below district level and when disaster management will be successful. Disaster management will be completely successful when it is completely participative, democratic, decentralized, complete involvement of PRI. Listen, so public administration students सबबेले तमे ए सबु वर्ड को decentralization, democratization, participation, transparency, accountability, you use this word. So success of disaster management result or depend on how participative it is. I can give you example. You can also give example that in Similipal Tiger Reserve. हाँ ठीक अच्छे आई एम कमिंग टू दैट सिमिलीपाल रे फॉरेस्ट फायर समस्त जानिछ फॉरेस्ट फायर हुए so there are certain area in Similipal where there is forest management committee. That forest management committee consists of local people, so there we found less fire, and where the local people are not involved in forest management the chance of forest fire is high. So involvement of local people in disaster management, that means more decentralization, more democratization, more participation in disaster management will give us right kind of result. ठीक अच्छे give us right kind of result. हाँ बालेश्वर ठीक अच्छे देखो बालेश्वर ट्रेन tragedy failure in signaling system, 3 arrested by CBI, 3 arrested by CBI, you all know signaling system, so that system need to be modernized. So you can give you an answer if they ask, sir, system need to be modernized, more robust, tamper proof, adoption of latest technology, and 3 people arrested. Yes. So you can say state disaster management authority and state disaster response force, it is so strong. And there is a news also I have given that 10 officer how they manage Bahanagar tragedy. 10 senior IS and IPS officer how they manage Bahanagar tragedy. So here role of civil service is very prominent. You can say, sir, some senior officer civil servant of Odisha, they have managed Bahanagar tragedy in such a manner that the loss of life is minimized. If the disaster management of Odisha is not that strong, the casualty might be many more. Praise, you must praise Odisha Disaster Management Authority. You must praise the coordination of senior civil servant under the leadership of the Chief Secretary. Yes, you can say this. They will not go into detail. Signaling failure, best ethic. If you are some mechanical engineer जदि किए थिबो कि से रिलेटेड तो अधिका नहले एतिकी पचारिबे. And participation of the local citizen of Baleshwar in disaster management, that is phenomenal. तापरे गोटे करप्शन अगेंस्ट रे, these are some institution, लोकपाल, लोक आयुक्त, procedure against corruption. So you can say if they ask you that actually lokpal and lokayukt, we all know ombudsman system. Ombudsman system, it is started in Scandinavian country, parliamentary ombudsman. After that Scandinavian country, it come to India, and the first years recommend to establish lokpal and lokayukt. Recently maybe ombudsman system likhibo grievance redressal of citizen against political executive and civil servant, and related to maladministration, administrative corruption, administrative nepotism. This you can write. And the problem in Lokayukt is that Lokpal is established 2019 after much protest, and Lokayukt, although Lokayukt is majority of the state established Lokayukt, the major drawback are spoil system of appointment. It is not uniform. Many state CM is kept out of the purview of Lokayukt. Investigation is not transparent. You can say those things. Okay, now kaharo kichi question अछि पचारो. Let me take kichi question thila. Kaharo kichi question अछि पचारो. Now you ask your question. Yes. One question. Listen, one question. UCC. देखो Uniform Civil Code. Maybe if you get a question on Uniform Civil Code. देखो सौम्य, आसुची तुम क्वेश्चन को. If you remember Nicolas Henry has give 6 stage classification of public administration. First, dichotomy stage. Principal stage. Public administration has pol science. Public administration has managerial science. Public administration has public administration. So administration is a broader term than management. Administrator meaning kon? Add minister. Add and minister. administration. Okay, Dhananjay, want to speak something? Okay, Dhananjay, want to speak something?
No, sir. Mistake है जी.
देखो, so if you ask a question, what is the difference between administration and management? You say, sir, management is management. It is managing something, and mostly used in private sector. Administration, ad plus minister. It is managing activity, and administration is a broader term. It is a broader term rather than management. Management we can call a narrow term. Administration is a broader term. So the scope of administration is wide, and management is not that wide. ହେଲା and देखो administration रे आमे I can give you an example. Suppose hospital administration, if it is SCB medical, it is public administration. Administration of SCB medical come under public administration. Administration of Apollo hospital under private administration. ହେଲା तो এটা কোন হলো administration হয়ে গেল public administration, private administration, public private. We also know management. Okay, you manage these things, manage or administer is a holistic. For example, okay, I can give another example. Ebe বুঝে যাব administration of SCB hospital. देखो पूरा ओवरऑल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन माने ग्राउंड लेवल टू लेके हाई लेवल जाए, that is administration. Managing as a you manage a particular section, that we can call management. You manage this particular section. But when we say administration, we cannot say administration of heart department, administration of blood bank. Try to understand. At that time, management of blood bank. Okay, who is managing blood bank? He is managing blood bank. But when we say administration, it is very holistic way. We can say. So this you can answer if they ask. Second, UCC. देखो तुमको जदि यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड बाबद क्वेश्चन पचारिबे तो यू डायरेक्टली लिंक दैट सर द कांसेप्ट ऑफ यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड इट इज मेंशन व्हेयर डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी लिबरल इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रिंसिपल तमे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को नहीं जीव कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन रे डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी रे लिबरल इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रिंसिपल रे द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज डायरेक्टिंग द स्टेट to implement article कहो न कहो article रहते importance नहीं, but you can say the constitution direct the state to implement uniform civil code. And as citizen rule of law, yes, everyone have same law, same set of law should be prevail over everyone. तापर से मैंने क्वेश्चन पचारिबे okay why some section are why some group are protesting against it. So then you can say that sir those people have not understand I think those people have not understand the actual meaning of actual outcome of uniform civil code. And yes, everyone has the right to protest. Eta bi kohibo sir if government come out with a law, if the law is ultra vires, if the law is against the constitution, then sir there is Supreme Court declare it null and void. And a citizen can approach the court if a citizen feel one particular law is violating his fundamental right. He has the authority. So uniform civil code, it is mentioned in constitution, and state is only following the direction of the constitution. If some people देखो जेतेबेला पचारिबे some section of protest against it, yes sir बिल्कुल it is a democratic country, every citizen has the right to protest, hear his grievance. At the end there is Supreme Court. If government come out with uniform civil code and if some section is not supporting it, they can approach Supreme Court under the power of writ if they feel that their fundamental right is violated. and it is up to the Supreme Court, sir. So what is your view? Sir, the Honorable Supreme Court, in case of a dispute related to a particular law, the Supreme Court has a final say as it is the final interpreter of constitution. Supreme Court upre chhadi dabo. Support karibo hela, you support uniform civil code and dispute hele Supreme Court. No, participate decision making देखो यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड टा कोन एटा गोटे लॉ किछि लोक ताको खराब भाबुचंती and not only some section religiously but some tribal also. I have read in Hindu some tribal section they not consider themselves Hindu. In Tamil Nadu, Nilgiri, there are some tribal, they have different type of tradition, they worship different aspect, not our god, they don't consider themselves as part of Sanatan Dharma. But as a Indian citizen, you can write, sir, as a Indian citizen, a particular set of laws should be applicable to everyone, and any grievance of any citizen will be redressed by the Supreme Court of India. The end. ना फाइनल डिसीजन नॉट गवर्नमेंट नहीं सुप्रीम कोर्ट गवर्नमेंट लॉ बनै पारे गवर्नमेंट रो अधिकार अछि आमे कोन माने जुडिशियल रिव्यू कोन गवर्नमेंट किछि भी लॉ बनै पारे जदि से लॉटा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अगेंस्ट थिबो तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ताको अल्ट्रा पावर कर दबो सुप्रीम कोर्ट को नै जिवो हला जोडी फसो सुप्रीम कोर्ट को नै जिवो एलजीबीटी रे सुप्रीम कोर्ट को नै जिवो सर द डिसीजन ऑफ ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट I strongly abide by the decision of Honorable Supreme Court. Yes. हाँ देखो controversy related to appointment of election commission and information commission. Listen, there is a very clear cut demarcation how election commission is appointed and how the chief information commission is appointed. There is a committee and the opposition leader is there. But latestly what happened, as there is no opposition party has that majority 1/10, so the government said that we will not entertain anyone as opposition leader, that controversy arise. যদি পচারিবে controversy related to appointment of election commission and information commission সেয়া কইব sir in the selection committee the opposition leader should be member, and as no opposition party has a required number of seat, so the government has not entertained, this result into controversy, this result into lack of transparency. What is the difference between manager and leader? देखो manager is manage, leader will lead. A leader always stand in the front, a leader always solve the problem, manager not solve. Manager means classical manager, the manager always give order, the manager never try to solve problem on his own, he never motivate, the manager only focus on work. But a leader not only focus on work, also focus on his subordinate. So a leader motivate, leader inspire, but manager cannot inspire. ଆଉ କାହାର କିଛି क्वेश्चन ଅଛି ଯଦି ପଚାର। Anyone have any other question? You can ask. So if you look into the syllabus, major issue of the state মানে ওড়িশা, poverty, distress, migration. Poverty hela, distress, migration hela, তারপরে agriculture and related to women education, women empowerment, on employment, Naxalism, migration ହେଲା, Naxalism ହେଲା ଓଡ଼ିଶାରେ, ତାପରେ slum problem in city, law and order problem, natural disaster. ଭରିଛି ଗୋଟେ ଏସେ ହେଇଯିବ, ତମେ ତିନିଟା ଚାରିଟା କହିବ ସେମାନେ ତାକୁ ଷ୍ଟପ୍ କହିଦେବେ। So poverty, farmer, small marginal farmer, landless labor. Okay, so small farmer, marginal farmer, small तो छाड़, marginal and landless labor से माने distress migration करती, कलाहांडी हेला, बलांगीर हेला, बरगढ़ हेला, they migrate to those southern state. Unemployment problem बहुत अच्छी, migrate to the southern state from Odisha. And kahe ki migration, distress migration. If you go in Bangalore, work in a software company, if you go to USA, that is good migration. But distress migration out of force, and that distress migration is very bad, because those people migrate to work in the brick land, work in the construction site, and they will migrate with their family and their children. They fall in the vicious cycle of poverty. They cannot get education, they cannot come out of this cycle of poverty. So what is the problem? The problem is rain dependent agriculture. Rain dependent agriculture is the main problem, because 6 month rain and and next 6 months they have no employment, so they migrate. So the solution is, if government is focusing on rainwater harvesting, focus on irrigation, if every farmer, small and marginal, he can make 2 crop, if this landless labor, they get work in the field, so there is no distress migration. Also poverty will be poverty problem will be solved. Listen, you can solve poverty because more than 50% of people still employed in agriculture, whose contribution is 14% to the GDP. You need to increase the contribution of agriculture in GDP and gradually keep people out of agriculture. Keep people out of agriculture, provide them training, Skill India mission, make them skilled worker and put them in industry. So slowly from agriculture to industrialization, industrialization to, yes, okay, from agriculture to where? Industrialization, industry to service. Only then we can solve the concept of poverty. Definitely, listen, Vishal, when you are appointed in a block where tribal population, You in comparative public administration, you have read that ecology of administration means impact of surrounding on administration. So as a block which is dominated by tribal dominated block, you adopt the culture, you function according to your surrounding. Getting it? So tribal problem, tribal solution, ecological approach. So you will ensure that in a tribal block, all tribal will get every benefit meant for them. First listen, এটা গোটে কথা ସମସ୍ତେ মনে ରଖ. You as a BDO, you are implementing policy. You are not formulating policy. So your aim is to implement all policy made by central government or state government in where? Central government, state government in that particular block. So you make sure that all policy will be implemented. You make sure that the tribal people will get education, their children get education, they will get adequate health care, they will get what? They will get uh, education, health care, PDS, they will get all weather road. So you can shoot two birds in a single arrow. What? You will ensure that the tribal don't feel alienated, the tribal never join the Naxal. The Naxal problem also solved in your initiative. The Naxal problem also solved because the Naxals are always employed the tribal. Why? The tribal feel they are not part of the state. So when tribal get minimum thing, healthcare, education, PDS, they will not alienate it. So the problem, tribal problem also solved with this. And agriculture, the Prime Minister has said that increase farmers' income, doubling farmers' income, mixed cropping, mixed farming. So agriculture problem ଅଛି Odisha रे agriculture ର कौन कौन what are the problem agriculture face in Odisha जदि पचारिबे sir the first problem is irrigation. Odisha 60-70% of land is depend on agriculture, depend on rain, and if rain is erratic, there is. Listen, Odisha is poor despite being mineral rich. The reason is Odisha is not using its mineral. Odisha is not using its mineral from mineral to final product. That means industrialization is lacking in Odisha. Whatever industrialization we found, it is in very limited. For example, in Sundargarh area, in Jajpur, but mostly government is focusing on exporting the ore. This is the main reason. Government is only focusing on export and not try to establish industry and make product. If government establish industry, for example, iron industry, government is selling all iron ore, bauxite ore. If there is plant who is make bauxite from this particular ore, then people will get employment. Although we are a mineral rich state, the mineral is not used in a proper way. Getting it? And there are many reasons, not only administrative failure, postco com, many people might get employment, but no, the people resign, the people not, land acquisition is very difficult many times. And how to change the scenario? Yes, how to change from poverty to prosperity, how government of Odisha, my answer is first, lack of coordination between citizen and administration. Listen, citizens' participation in administration. Administration cannot convince citizen about the benefit of this project, or administration should provide land in such a area where there is no resentment. Land acquisition is a major problem, be it Tata Nagar, be it where POSCO କୋଉଠି ଆସିଥିଲା କେନ୍ଦ୍ରାପଡ଼ା କି ଜଗତସିଂହପୁର POSCO ଆସିଥିଲା. So land acquisition is a major problem in Odisha. That hamper industrialization. Getting it? हाँ. And another thing, agriculture mu आसुची. देखो ओडिशा रे रिवर बहुत अच्छी, ओडिशा रे वर्षा भी होउची, बट काहेकि वर्षा दिन सरिले नदी सुखिला. You all know, पेपर आसुची वर्षा सरिगला नदी सुखिला. The reason is we are not constructing enough dam. Listen, we are accusing Chhattisgarh that Chhattisgarh made 30 barrage, 40 dam, but why we not? In Mahanadi, one dam. In Sambalpur, two barrage. One is Noraj and one is Jobra. Why should not we make more dam, more barrage? Instead of big check dam, we should make small dam. We should preserve rainwater of a village. In that village, we should not let it flow. So it will fulfill the purpose of simultaneously flood and drought. If we protect water in a village, how we can protect water in a village? By digging pond in government land, rejuvenate the earlier pond. तमे समस्त देखिथिबो ईस्टर्न ओडिशा रे तमे पुरी गला बेले सबु घर पछडे गोटे गाड़िया देखिथिबो. जे कटक रो पिला से जानिथिबो कटक माने जे गाँ रो माने गाड़िया शह शह गाड़िया सबु घर पछडे गोटे गाड़िया थिबो. तार रीजन कोन थिला कह? अर्लियर 20-25 वर्ष आगु फ्लड इज ए माने सब वर्ष फ्लड आसुतला. तो कटक एरिया रो लोक कोन करूतिले, फास्ट गोटे गाड़िया करूतिले, सेथिरु माटी बाहर करिकी हाइट करूतिले, ता ऊपर घर बनाउतिले. कटक रो लोक मु देखिछि. तो से गाड़िया कोन? दैट गाड़िया वर्षा होतला, गाड़िया रे पानी रहउतला, एक्सेस वाटर, एंड दैट रिजल्ट इनटू रिचार्ज ऑफ ग्राउंड वाटर. बट एबे धीरे धीरे कोन हे गलानी, से गाड़िया माने माने मेंटेनेंस अभाव रे से गाड़िया पोती ही जाइछि. तो गाड़िया पोती ही गरार आउटकम दीटा. गोटे रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग हे पारो नाही, वाटर माने ग्राउंड वाटर रिचार्ज हे पारो नाही, एंड सेकंड फ्लड होउछि. तो सेहिति पई ओडिशा गवर्नमेंट कोन आनिला? आमो पोखरी. आमो पोखरी. आमो पोखरी रे कोन होबो? Thousands of river in urban area rejuvenated. So two purpose will solve. Three purpose. River जदि thousands of river rejuvenated hela, तो सेथिरे कोन ग्राउंड वाटर रिचार्ज होबो. We have adequate water that can use in irrigation when there is no rain. Third, it will act as a sponge. It will suck the extra water, so no flood. Like wetland, you geography optional पिला जानिथिबो wetland रो कामो कोन? urban flooding काहे कि होची? urban flooding हेबारो दुईटा रीजन अछि. One is improper drainage, second encroachment over drain, third the wetland who act as a sponge, that wetland is being filled and building are constructed. Reason of urban flooding. Okay. तापरे नक्सल इश्यू एते नाही, बट स्टिल ओडिसा रे नक्सल इश्यू अछि. समस्त जानिथिबो नक्सल इश्यू बाबद रे क्वेश्चन पचारिले यू कैन हैंडल. स्लम प्रॉब्लम इन सिटी. स्लम प्रॉब्लम सिटी काहे कि होछि? सिटी को बहुत लोक माइग्रेट करके पळे आसुचंती. हेलो, मेनी पीपल आर माइग्रेटिंग टू द सिटी इन सर्च ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट. सो सॉल्व केमती हबो? पूरा एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम कहिसंती प्रोवाइडिंग अर्बन इम्यूनिटी इन रूरल एरिया, रिवर्स माइग्रेशन हबो. नक्सलिज्म रो सॉल्यूशन हैला डेवलपमेंट, आउ किछि नाही. हैला, नक्सलिज्म रो सॉल्यूशन हैला डेवलपमेंट. जदि से माने कहिबे इज गवर्नमेंट इज डूइंग नथिंग, देखो जेते बेले भी से माने कहिबे इज गवर्नमेंट इज डूइंग नथिंग, so you will say no sir, more need to be done. Never ever criticize government, never ever criticize administration. Never say, sir, it is an administrative failure or it is a failure of government. No, because we are going to part of that system. You say, sir, administration is doing its work, but more need to be done. More need to be done, sir. Sorry, more need to be done. Naxalism समस्या केमती होबो? आर्म रे नुह, काउंसलिंग रे, इंटीग्रेशन रे. देखो मेजर स्कीम रे देखी दे था गवर्नमेंट रो कितने मेजर स्कीम बाहरी हो 30 40 50 टा जहा माने लास्ट 6 मंथ रे जहा स्कीम एजी सेरा देखी दे था केमती मु एटा गोटे कहली मो पोखरी अबड़ा अबड़ा स्कीम पुरी मंदिर रो संप्रसारण परिक्रमा प्रोजेक्ट आउ जहा जहा स्कीम अच्छी ओडिशा गवर्नमेंट रो फार्मर पाई स्कीम हैला कि वुमेन चिल्ड्रेन पाई स्कीम हैला देखी दे था बेसी नहीं 20-30 टा स्कीम बाहर एई वर्षर देखो तो खाली 2023 रो कोन कोन गवर्नमेंट लॉन्च करिछि स्कीम मते तो लागुछि मो पोखरी ही पचारिबे मो पोखरी बहुत लोगों को पचारिबे हैला सो वुमेन एजुकेशन यस वुमेन एजुकेशन समस्त जानिचो गवर्नमेंट एबे मॉडल स्कूल बनैछि मो स्कूल योजना रे आदर्श विद्यालय बना ହେଇछि एंड वुमेन एजुकेशन को बहुत फोकस करा होछि फ्री फ्री एजुकेशन दिया होछि एग्रीकल्चर प्रॉब्लम हाँ एग्रीकल्चर प्रॉब्लम देखो गोटे तो इरिगेशन हैला ट्रांसपोर्टेशन हैला तापर फार्मर इज नॉट गेटिंग हाई यील्डिंग सीड टाइमली फर्टिलाइजर पेस्टिसाइड सेटा गोटे फार्मर समस्या फार्मर को टाइमली लोन मिली पारु नाही तापर फार्मर जहा प्रोड्यूस कला ताको टाइम रे बिकी पारु नाही मार्केट रे गोटे टाइम रे टमाटो 5 टका रे मिलुची फार्मर फोपाडी दोची गोटे टाइम रे टमाटो 150 टका रे मिलुची रीजन इज व्हाट द रीजन इज the high there is a period when the agriculture production is very high it need to be stored government should focus on procurement storage transportation ए तीनटा समस्या हेई गले एग्रीकल्चर रो चासी रो भी समस्या हेई जिवो आ जो हाई इन्फ्लेशन होची सेटा भी होबनी तो एज ए वीडियो बिल्कुल तमरो रोल अछि तहसीलदार भी रोल अछि तमरो एज ए वीडियो फार्मिंग को micro irrigation you say sir I will focus on micro irrigation small check dam like Rajendra Sharma जानिथिबो Rajendra Sharma को waterman of India से कहिथिले instead of big dam we should focus on small dam women education Naxalism slum national law and order problem हाँ एबे भुवनेश्वर रे बहुत लॉ एंड ऑर्डर प्रॉब्लम चलीछि तो तमे कहइबो माने इलीगली बहुत लोक रहउचंती एंड सम क्रिमिनल एलिमेंट आर देयर इंटेंशन ही तांकर चोरी करिबा डकैती करिबा दे आर स्टेइंग इन द स्लम सॉल्यूशन एटा होछि कि गवर्नमेंट गोटे कोऑर्डिनेशन कमिटी बनैबा कथा representative of that slum population and only police cannot solve all this police can solve crime only with active cooperation of these people so cooperation हैला and confidence building measure police slum ro lokon confidence re nabo that they will not protect the criminal element in this slum नेचुरल डिजास्टर तो कहि परिबो ओडिसा सब बले नेचुरल डिजास्टर फेस करूची जीरो कैजुअलिटी तापरे साइक्लोन रो कोन करा हबो फ्लड पई कोन समस्या फ्लड पई कोन करिवो ड्रॉट पई कोन करिवो ड्रॉट और फ्लड रो गुटे ही मु कहूची मोर ए नंबर ऑफ डैम हैला गुटे छातो योजना अछि गवर्नमेंट रो रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग मोर नंबर ऑफ डैम ग्राउंड वाटर रिचार्ज एटा डबल सॉल्यूशन फ्लड भी और ड्रॉट भी बिकॉज रिवर लिंकिंग टा टिके बहुत डिफिकल्ट हम है रिवर लिंकिंग आज जाए हो पारे सेंटर करनी तो आम कौन करवा रिवर लिंकिंग जदि तुम कह तो से काउंटर क्वेश्चन करेंगे इंडिया रे गोटे रिवर लिंकिंग है केन बेटुआ केबेटू मु शुणुची आज जाए किसी हो पारे केन बेटुआ रिवर लिंकिंग हो पारा ना हम भी ना तो तुम्हें कह वाटर कंजर्वेशन डैम है माने गोटे गाँव रो पानी से गाँव रे ही रही कथा फ्लड हम ना ग्राउंड वाटर रिचार्ज हम लॉ एंड ऑर्डर प्रॉब्लम रे रोल ऑफ सिविल सोसाइटी रोल ऑफ पुलिस सिटीजन एवरीवन्स कंट्रीब्यूशन विल रिजल्ट इनटू गिव अस द रिजल्ट तापर नेचुरल डिजास्टर ओके तो ठीक अच्छे काली सेमती तुम क्वेश्चन नहीं कि आसो है इट विल बी बेटर टुमोरो 8 pm रे करिबा क्लास टुमोरो 8 pm टू 10 pm ठीक अच्छे तुम 15 रे स्टार्ट हो काली 9 तारीख 9 10 11 12 ठीक अच्छे टुमोरो 8 टू 10 मे बी 10:30 भी हो तो काली मु चेष्टा करी सिलेबस अधा सारे कि यूनिट 1 रु कौन क्वेश्चन पचारि पारे वेरी शॉर्टली यूनिट 2 रु कौन पचारि पारे गोटे ब्रीफ गोटे देदेवी आउ यू विल आस्क योर क्वेश्चन है सो वी विल कंटिन्यू क्लास संडे मंडे 9 10 11 12 13 15 रु स्टार्ट ना हाँ 13 जाए करबा yes it is recorded I will give you in group मु YouTube रे दे देबी आ ग्रुप रे भी दे देबी ठीक अच्छे यहाँ लाइव क्लास सेक्शन रे भी रहिबो ऐप रो फ्री क्लास रे गोटे अच्छी ऊपर देख लाइव क्लास सेक्शन से लाइव क्लास सेक्शन रे भी रेकॉर्ड रहिबो एंड आई विल गिव इन YouTube ओके सो मीट यू टुमोरो तमे क्वेश्चन नहीं कि आसो जहा माइंड रे जहा अछि आई विल ट्राई टू आंसर है मु जेति की जानिबी मु आंसर देबी सब्जेक्ट नहीं हाँ जनरल क्वेश्चन पचारो आई कैन गिव आंसर बट को अलग ऑप्शनल रिलेटेड आई कैन नॉट बट जनरल क्वेश्चन आई कैन गिव यू आंसर एंड वी विल डिस्कस यूनिट 1 फ्रॉम टुमारो ठीक अच्छे सो गुड नाइट एवरीवन मीट यू टुमारो we start from section 1 okay